Hold on. Participants. What is wrong with my eight two 837. Oh my God! What is wrong with my Zoom today? I've been frantic for minutes. I had a problem this morning as well with my webinars. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think because I'm using, if you notice, I'm coming up as Craig No.
Yes.
Because we're all using a common Zoom. So sometimes a conflict would occur. So I've already erased that. But anyway, how are you, my dear?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad.
Did you get time to rest at all? Oh dear. Oh man. How are you feeling now?
Absolutely buggered.
I can see it on your face. Oh. Yeah,
That's okay. I haven't had it. I've done the first webinar, but I haven't. I've done the first one, which was pages 9 to 12.
There are changes on it. I'll tell you what, it's a small change. It's a small change. Don't worry. If you notice on the law, the first video showed that WA is 2011 now, 2020. So the right law for WA is WHS Act 2020.
So it's no longer 2011.
Not 2011 to 2020. Now the 2011 is for other states except for Victoria.
Yep. So I was going to say, that's not really going to bother me being in Queensland, is it?
No, because yours is 2011. Yeah, yours is 2011. So for today, would you want us to tackle the assessment straight away?
Well, I've gone through and answered pretty much the first 3 questions because, you know, like the first question is about how do you gain commitment to building the workplace safety management system and learning development to a satisfactory level. Like, to me, that is, we need to go to the staff and just let them know that, you know, at the end of the day, the reason why we're looking at this is because they're legally responsible. We're trying to actually take the onus off them and put policies and procedures behind it to actually cover their butts, in essence.
Yeah.
You know, we're actually doing this to help them, not hinder them.
That's correct. So how I would want to explain to you what the assessment actually wants to find out is if you know what to do when there is something wrong that you've spotted with how they're practicing work health and safety, right? Case, for example, Sonic Health Plus. The first problem I see is that although we have the Sonic Safe, which is the system that we use, where all the different types of policies are there, I've noticed that people who are asked to do an audit in work health and safety are not properly trained to audit. They're ticking boxes and they're not actually understanding what they're checking,
Yep.
right? So if you came in and you knew about that, what's the first thing you should do? I mean, what document should you check first when you know that there's a problem as such?
Well, we've got to go back to the what audits have been done, who's checking them off, why they've been checked off, and actually going back to those root documents to go, okay, this is actually what it is. This is what it means. Can we go through and actually do some education on what those questions are about?
Yeah. So you're going to do what you call consultation participation meeting, which is part of the code of practice, right? So you're doing it because you need to get as much information as possible before you can make a decision, right? So you then put all of the details in, you get all the historical records, you check everything, even liaise with your representative, liaise with your officer, who is Shana, and make her be aware of the problem that you've identified. Now, if you've confirmed, like firsthand, you saw it, that the person who was auditing really didn't understand what she was doing, you then need to write down a report, because it is an incident. You know, you kind of see that if a person is ticking the boxes, that causes a risk to the business.
Yep.
So you need to file an incident report and send it over to Shana. Another way that Sonic Health does is staff just go to the manager, and the manager is the one who puts it on Riskman, right?
Yep.
So that's another option. But if I were Shana, which is what you're studying now, let's say you are the officer, you receive that, you get a report. So again, you do the consultation participation at your level, right? Because the frontline managers don't actually have access to as much information as she has. She would have higher level access to the system, to the information. So once she knows and confirms that that is indeed a problem, she will also create her own report. Now, what actually happens in this case is the officer then looks at what you call the work health and safety management system. It is a book or manual or something that the committee, so the committee is the senior executive plus the consultant plus officer. They've created that. It's a framework. Okay, she's going to check on what relates to this particular problem. Because for me, if a person says, I don't know how to do this, but I'm doing it, it's a training issue, isn't it?
What's the root cause issue?
Yes. So she then goes to the work health safety management system, and she tries to find anything that has to do with training. Right? Then she tries to read what it says. It will probably say, like all general work health and safety management, all people should be inducted, should be trained, and possibly there's nothing specific that's written about those doing the induction should have that specific training, right? So she can't find anything specific, but it seems to me like the work health and safety management system seems to say everyone should be trained. It's just that it needs more to be specific, right? So then what she does is she goes to the plan, work health safety management plan. She then checks whether that is also covered or not covered in the plan, that everyone, whatever. If it is covered, then there's nothing to change on the plan. There's nothing to change on the system. Maybe because something just got missed along the way. It was the implementation that was the problem, not the plan, right? So what an officer does is she then escalates this to say that the implementation was not done? Who was responsible for this? So obviously it's going to be HR and the training department, right? So then they work that out and they put more controls into it. Now, whatever they decide to do is they're going to record that as an action against the report that was done. They don't need to do anything on the plan. They don't need anything to do on the system because it was already written there. However, if it's not written in the plan and the plan seems to be ambiguous and it doesn't really give anyone, then they could change the plan and add it. You know, they can put some addition to the plan. Normally, what happens when you start putting actions in place, especially in a very big scale, like an entire business, there has to be a communication plan. So you'll set up meetings, whatever. Now, usual problem with work health and safety is people don't like to participate. People don't know enough. So this is where you have to provide proof that everyone that needs to have that training, everyone who is concerned about that training, must have had some training done in place. So they're going to start making a register of everyone, and then they're going to write down who's done the training, and they're going to put that in the training register, because if an audit happens,
you've got the proof.
You got the proof. Yeah. There's going to be a question in the assessment. It's going to ask you, okay, there's a problem in this business. I think it's case number 1. How will you gain the commitment of other people in the business?
How do you go about gaining the commitment? And how would you go about gaining
The commitment
to building workplace health, safety management system and learning a development to satisfactory level?
Yeah. The answer to that would be on the learner guide, and it says your personal responsibilities. It has like be a role model, blah, 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 blah. It has all of that written in there.
Okay, so that's not actually about like letting people know that it's their responsibility, that
it is still, yeah, it is still, it's educating them, encouraging them to participate, and then so they could feel that sense of ownership, giving them case studies, you know, because the more they know that this has happened somewhere else, the more they understand that it could happen here too.
Yep.
Now, what the penalties look like, people don't know that. They think that, no, I wasn't trained, so, well, ignorance is bliss. Actually, it isn't. It's unexcusable in the law. Yep.
And then how would you demonstrate its usefulness? And that's where you could go case studies.
Yes. What are the risks? If this doesn't happen, what happens to them? So to avoid particular risks, and these are the risks, examples of specific risks that could happen if this wasn't followed. Then say, what was wrong with the thing? Was it injury? Was it manual handling? There's something about something there that's been occurring, like injuries, was it? In that case, I think there was an increased number of injuries in that particular case.
So what was that?
The case study. I went blank. The case study, I think that particular business was talking about an increased number of injuries. Yep. If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
This one's saying the
it'd be an assessment too.
You've begun working as a health safety officer in a company that provides basic healthcare mostly for the local community. The company has around 80 workers, and although it has had no incidents in the last 6 months, you can tell from initial inspections that it is mostly through luck. that the statistics seem so positive. The workplace health and safety system and training and development is such that is basic. The CEO wants, the CEO knows that is why you have been given the job, but the operational managers and supervisors are reluctant to change. You have heard comments from them as from them, if it isn't broken, why fix it?
So the question is, let's start with the law. Is there workers' health safety management system? Does it reflect what their legal obligations are? Because they just say it's basic, but it doesn't say if it's compliant.
Well, the first thing is, how would you go about gaining commitment to building the workplace health safety management system and learning and the learning and development to a satisfactory level? And what I had down for that was, letting people know their legal obligations, that, they're legally obligated as a manager and supervisor and employee to make sure that these workplace health and management systems are in place and being followed, because they can actually personally be held liable if incidents occur.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you can actually go through some of the historical records and show them, as you just said, do some case studies on incidents that have actually happened there and say, this could have been worse if this.
That's correct. Now, there's more work than gaining their commitment, because I think they don't understand. They might think that they've been blamed by the implementation. You need to check whether the system is actually according to the legal requirement. So that's the first thing you need to look at, because it's not just the workers. You're also having to talk to the owner, and you also have to talk to the ones lateral to you, right? So all the other managers. So
because it's got, how could you demonstrate its usefulness, and that I've just got by case studies and risk assessments from previous cases. And then the third question is, where would you start? And I'm like looking at the historical records, audits, and the management system that's currently in use, identifying issues, writing up incident reports, finding out where the root causes, is it training, is it planning, is it implementation,
and ensure all the policies are in place, because they might have missed creating policies or even guidance for workers to follow. Their recording and reporting may not be used frequently, or should be. Their access, gaining commitment is also providing them the resources. So the resources would mean access to the manual, access to anything that has to do with work health and safety. So easy access.
So got the number 4 question is, consider the following questions apply to Sonic Health Plus. Does Sonic Health Plus have a systematic approach and commitment to workplace health and safety and risk management?
Yeah. Well, the answer to that is yes, because they do have a system. They have Riskman and they have Sonic Safe, but it could be improved.
So, because I was going to say, as an employee, we don't see that. That's the managerial side of it. So,
thank you. This is where
I've
you
just got yes, Sonic Safe. All managers and senior leadership team have access to Riskman and report.
Yeah.
Incidences.
Do you know who your work health and safety rep is there? There. That's a problem.
Well, the only person that's got access into risk man in our clinic is our practice manager and our nurse.
Because in your assessment, you're going to be asked who the duty holders are. So you need to know who your representative is. So if you put practice manager, then yes. Who is your first aider? Who is your fire? What you call that? Warden?
Fire warden. So first aid for doctors, fire wardens means practice manager is the normal workplace health and safety.
Mel, I suggest you ask, can you confirm with Shana? You know Shana, right? No? She's the work health and safety officer of Sonic Health nationwide.
Okay.
You send her an email and say, you're in this unit.
Yep.
Who is the appointed work health and safety representative for your area?
Would you be able to flip me through her details?
Yeah, I can send it to you. Because you know, the health and safety representative is meant to go through frequent training. I wonder if your practice manager is. There's actually a certification for it. You can't just be a representative. You actually have to go through, like, attend a bloody seminar or something like that on an annual, or how many years every
Yeah, I've got no idea. I know that I'm the chief fire warden.
And you've had your
and our
training,
first aid
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And our first aid, the doctors and nurses, or doctors and nurse, but as in workplace health and safety manager.
No, that's it.
I would assume it's Kathy. She does all the risk man, but that's about it.
Okay. What else? Have a look and then tell me. How are you going with writing your answers? Are you fine with it?
Very messy at the moment.
Keep it, because remember, one of your reasonable adjustments is we're fine with you putting bullet points, and then we can do everything else on a verbal interview. You know what I mean? So don't worry too much about having to write too much.
Okay. What do you see as the benefits for Sonic Health Plus and the staff?
On what? Benefits on what?
Well, that's the question, is what do you see as the benefits for the Sonic Health Plus and the staff?
No.
That's question 4.
What was the question for?
What does Sonic Health Plus have systematic approach?
Yeah.
But does Sonic Health Plus have a systematic approach?
Yeah.
And commitment to workplace health and safety and risk management?
Yeah. So if your answer is yes, what's the benefit to having a good system? So, staff have access to the information. Staff are given guidelines. Staff are trained.
The thing is, it's only managers that can get into it, so normal staff don't see it.
I think what it is that when the managers have access to it, the managers then have more capability of passing that information on to the staff, But do you know that you do have access to Sonic Safe, right? You can. You go to the intranet, you will find almost everything there. Policies are there, except for incident reports, but everything else is there. I kind of find that to be strange, because everyone should be getting that information in real time, But go to Sonic Safe and you see it's laid out for you. Most of the answers to your learner, to your assessment is found there in the intranet.
Okay.
Mm.
Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a squizzy.
All right.
So how's the commitment to workplace health and safety and risk expressed in Sonic Health Plus include a copy of what you found?
Mm.
What, in your opinion, could be approved? So this is obviously the Sonic Safe system.
Yeah, that's the one.
What do they want a copy of though? Because
You can just screenshot that.
just the outline.
Yeah.
In Sonic Health Plus, what are your chief responsibilities, accountabilities, and authority? Are they written? If so, are they accurate? Is there a reference to workplace health and safety? Is the reference to workplace health and risk clear? So that should all be in amongst there as well.
Mm.
Who provided him with the referral though?
What
Is it a
consultation does Sonic Health Plus undertake, and
writer?
how is it recorded?
The referral.
Hmm.
I would bill it. Yep. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
So where it's got about what are your chief responsibilities, accountabilities, and authority,
Mm.
what's that referring to?
Have a look at your job description and or the job description. Yeah, your job description, because you're not in management yet, right? So you won't be under any of the management. If you look into Sonic Safe, you will find that there are duty holders there. It will say senior executive. It will have representatives. You will fall under workers. So you can copy that and put that in the assessment.
So all it's saying is induction demonstrate, like for workplace health and safety under my position description, you're saying induction compliance, workplace health and safety modules, demonstrate safe work behaviours and champion a positive workplace health and safety culture, ensure safe workplaces, maintain compliance with workplace health and safety policies, procedures and instructions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm copying out.
Yeah.
What consultation does Sonic Health Plus undertake and how is it recorded?
Craig, I'm on a Zoom session with Melanie.
Okay, all good.
Do you want me to call you back later? Well, put the phone down on me. Wow.
So up to number 9, what consultation process does Sonic House Plus undertake and how is it recorded?
Okay.
These are the committee meeting and
Yeah.
agenda minutes on the internet.
That's it.
Steve, when it's sometimes urgent, okay?
Write down at least 3 internal and external stakeholders of Sonic House Plus. Briefly describe each stakeholder's interest and concern on risk and workplace health management in relation to SHP. So internal stakeholders will be your clinics, like clinic staff, clinics, and managers.
Yeah. From the highest, so the committee, the representatives, senior executive, managers, supervisors, workers, contract workers. Yeah.
And external stakeholders would be suppliers, contractors.
Actually,
Sorry?
Actually, if you think about it, the moment they step into that, they're already internal. But the ones who are not in the workplace, just outside, they are external. You know what I mean? So you can add that there. But focus more on other people that they're not physically there, but still interested with whatever happens to Sonic Health. An example would be the community. Shareholder,
suppliers, contractors, patients, community, shareholders,
other visitors, consultants, the government, even competitors. Because if, what happens to one healthcare industry, they actually get impacted as well.
Okay, so the next question is, what does Sonic House Plus how does Sonic House Plus ensure compliance? What are the regulatory framework that Sonic House Plus is required to be compliant with?
So you know that it's 2011 for you guys?
Well, it would vary because we're a national company, so it would vary depending on state.
So you have to go, what regulations impact the healthcare industry in Australia? So you did research that and then put that all in. Another thing would be ISO, because I know you guys are under ISO too. I mean, we are under ISO. But there's more, even environment, that's another one. There's another regulation for environment. You can actually also find that in the WorkSafe, I think it's WorkSafe website.
Is that the legislative standard?
Yeah, the mandatory standards for the healthcare industry.
So a lot of this is going to have to be done here where I've got access to the internet.
Yeah, because there's a lot. Or you can, oh yeah, otherwise you're gonna save everything. I think you might actually have a shared drive where all policies are written out, wouldn't you?
Not what I was saying.
Yeah.
Mind you, half the links that are on the website, on the intranet page, aren't working. So I'm just going to the Workplace Health Safety Systems Management Monitoring and Measurement Review.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
There's nothing
There's
there.
nothing in the work. No, there's nothing in the work. Like you press the links and they're not going to anything.
Oh, the last time I checked it, it was there. So it must be something's been updated. In case you can't find.
I just went into a Workplace Health and Safety Legislative Standard and it's saying not found.
I'm just going to give you Shauna's details. Because if you can't find anything there, Shauna would be the best person who'll point you to the. She also has copies of it. Sorry. Giving you her email address.
Thank you. I might send the links just saying that I can't get into some of it.
From what I could remember, you're going to need to have a look at that. And then you also need to have to look at risk, hazard, and risk management. You're going to have to look at those are the plan. Reporting and recording, something like that. It's going to be there. Those are the main ones I could remember.
Yeah.
Well,
it's going to give me a pretty good basis to work off for the moment, I think.
Yeah. Take it, one thing at a time, one page at a time, And the biggest thing there is really just the audit anyway. I think it's the audit and
I'm the one.
The case study, because you'll have to do a survey from what I could remember about stress and bullying.
You have to send it through that way.
But we can talk about that 2 weeks from now. So just focus on the ones that you can do as writing, but the projects, you can do that separately. Yeah.
Okay,
yep. Case study too.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's not hard. It isn't. I promise you it isn't.
Cool. Well, I'll try and get a bit more work done on it and actually write out those answers so they can be read.
Yes.
That might be helpful.
All right, my dear. So I'll see you in 2 weeks then.
Yep.
Okay. Call me if you need anything.
This weekend I won't be able to do anything, but next weekend I'll try and set some time aside to get some more done.
Yeah. If you can't finish in 2 weeks, whatever you've planned to do today, then just let me know and then we'll reschedule for the week after. I can just switch whatever anyway, you know?
Yeah, I just don't want to keep rescheduling because we need to stay on track. Otherwise, it's never going to get it done.
That's right. Yeah, but look at you. Look at yourself. Here we are talking about work health and safety, and look at your face. It's a report bound to be a report. How many have you had since this morning, my dear? Don't tell me you've had 3.
That's my second.
Okay, may it stop there.
Yeah, no, I limit myself to 2.
All right. See you. Take care, my dear.
All right, no drama. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.